All right, what's going on, everybody? Today is a great day, man. This is something I definitely did not expect to kind of log into the internet, I guess, and see. So I logged into my email today, my Optimus business email, of course, and I honestly don't even really check it that often. I check it once every couple weeks, but I actually had a pretty fresh email in there that had just come through over the last few days that was at the top of everything, and I kind of noticed that it was different than the rest of the emails that I usually get in that account. And this one, man, I already knew the moment that I saw the the header, the opening thing, that this was going to be a classic email. So if you guys don't know, some of my most popular videos have been me kind of like debating the topic on whether or not video games are really to blame for like a lot of different issues in society, or if parents are failing their jobs, guardians are failing their jobs to watch kids. And I guess one of my previous videos that I did called, like, it's the video game's fault, not my bad parenting, had crossed 3 million views, okay? Last time I looked at this, it was barely pushing 2. So I guess recently, like, it got a really big push in the algorithm or whatever, and it just kind of blew up all over again. And I got an email from an angry mother who apparently has seen this video, and she is ready to debate me on the topics at hand and ready to, I guess, let me know what's up. And I asked you guys over on Twitter if this is something you guys wanted to see in a video, and the response was just overwhelmingly yes. I mean, it was insane how many people wanted to see this so quickly. So, here we are, folks. Today we are going to be reading through the email that destroys Optimus's credibility, that shuts down everything I've said about video games. The email that makes me look like a complete moron, folks. I am so excited to get into this and have my career ruined. I mean, to say the least, this is definitely going to be a career-defining moment. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the email here. I hope that this email finds you well. I wanted to email you at your address that you've listed about a video that I saw on your YouTube channel that I take personal issue with. I saw a video called "It's the Video Game's Fault, Not My Bad Parenting," where you rambled on and on about how parents are to blame and that video games don't influence kids and that there's no responsibility for gamers to watch their behavior. Okay, so let's go ahead and already clear up a couple misconceptions here, okay? Number one, I did not ramble on and on about how parents are to blame. I mean, in that specific situation, that was my opinion. Yes, parents are to blame if their kids are acting like complete morons, and they're on Dr. Phil screaming and hitching a fit and fucking getting upset because their parents, I guess, aren't letting them play video games and video games are this big of a problem in the household. That's when parents are to blame about video games. When they're unable to raise their children correctly and make them not act like complete morons. That's when parents are to blame. To pretend like the video was insinuating that, like, every time there's an issue with video games, it's back on the parents and whatever is insane. And I also never said that there was no responsibility for people who play video games to watch their behavior. In fact, I've been very open about people watching how much they're playing video games and like monitoring their online behavior. I'm very adamant on that, okay? So we're not even through the first few lines here, and we're already completely wrong. Your whole point already is based on like paper and water. So I can only imagine how the next 90 lines of this email are gonna go. So, first of all, as a mother of 3 boys and a girl, I'm here to ask you one question. What the hell do you know about parenting? Absolutely nothing. You've made nothing but assumptions about us and what hell we go through. Raising kids every day is more of a job than this YouTube channel you run, believe it or not. So when you decide to throw stones, make sure you don't live in a glass house. Alright, so you're a mother of 4 children. I honestly can't imagine you're a very good one, but you know, I digress, whatever, right? So, I'll answer your question. What the hell do you know about parenting? You're right, I don't really know anything about parenting, you know? If you asked me how to register a child for school, I'd have no idea. If you asked me, you know, what do you do if your kid gets in trouble in class, you know, I would immediately exactly know what to do, right? I feel like, though, what you're doing is you're equating common sense to, like, some sort of skill in parenting. Your skill of being a parent has nothing to do with my ability to say, hey, maybe if your kid is having a problem controlling themselves with something, you restrict access to that something as their parent and help them manage the things that they can't manage. I feel like that's just common sense. I don't really feel like that's anything crazy. Like, I got a feeling that we don't have to fucking bring Einstein back from the dead to mathematically calculate the complexity of your parenthood here. I've made nothing but assumptions about you and what hell you go through. That's a really good way to, I guess, phrase you raising 4 children, the hell that you go through. I'm sure your children would love to hear that, right? Man, Mom said raising all 4 of us is like going through hell. I'm sure your children would love to hear you talk like that. Your kids probably really love you. You sound like a really great parent, but I've made nothing but assumptions. See, now I'm making assumptions because You came to me incorrectly in an email and made a fucking fool of yourself this whole time, and I'm gonna make a fool of you now for this video. I really hope you enjoy this, by the way. Raising kids every day is more of a job than this YouTube channel you run, believe it or not. Well, I mean, is it harder? I'm probably gonna say yes. It's probably much harder to raise 4 children than it is to run a YouTube channel. But I think you have this whole idea of what this YouTube channel is completely wrong. Not only do I make all of my own videos, I edit all of my own videos, I do all the own audio work for my videos, all of my gameplay is mine, I run all of my social outlets, I run the merchandise store for my channel, I respond to the customer, I guess, inquiries surrounding that, or at least I try to keep up with them. I design all of my own merchandise, except for the few collections in which I pretty much will openly tell you if there's an artist involved. I make all of my own music. I produce the vast majority of my music. Anything that comes down to this channel is me. Optimus is me. This is my brand. I do everything for it. Is it hard? Yes. Is it as hard as being a parent? Probably not. But is it something that you should be disrespecting because you have no fucking clue what you're talking about? Probably not. And what does it mean to throw stones at a glass house? That sentence doesn't make sense in the context that you're trying to fucking use it in, and it's one of the most common references that you can use. If I were throwing stones, making sure that I wasn't living in a glass house, I'd be like a parent of 4 kids who lets my kids play video games, and they're all fucked up. And I'd be talking about parents who can't manage their kids. That's how you would use that phrase. Not when you're talking to someone who's not even old enough to legally drink on the internet talking over video games, okay? You don't even know, as what I would assume to be an older woman, like basic phrases. I don't understand like what's going on here, but my boys are not allowed to play video games, and for good reason. They can't control the time that they spend on it. We tried this whole thing with their Xbox where they could only play for 2 hours a day and they refused to listen. So now they get no Xbox, and while they clamor on about it all the time, ask for new games on Christmas and birthdays, we refuse as parents to allow them to fall into the same traps that people like you advocate for. To also pretend that video games have no impact on society is insane. We don't live in the United States, but we see all of the shootings, madness, etc. that happens there, and as a country that has so many video games, it's no coincidence that the country sees many things like that happen. Yet another reason why our boys aren't allowed to have video games anymore. Okay. Your kids probably dislike you for being this way, okay? And that's okay. You have made that executive decision as a parent to not let them play video games. I can't really debate you on that one. They're your kids. If that's what you feel is necessary, then whatever, right? But let me ask you a few questions in return here. How in the fuck could you not control their Xbox usage? You are the parent, right? I mean, I would assume you're the one who pays for like the Xbox Online memberships, bought the Xbox, bought all the accessories for it, pay the rent or whatever at the house, and you can't figure out how to like let them like get them in a schedule to play video games on a routine and not 9 hours a day, right? You just couldn't figure that one out. That was too far beyond your abilities to do anything here as a parent. But whatever, you know, at least you've come to some, I guess, decision that isn't them playing Fortnite for literally the whole day. But yeah, so as someone who lives in the United States, I've got to say, the whole shooting things has definitely died down a lot since COVID and since a lot of places have been like restricted or kind of closed. It's kind of sad that it took a global pandemic to make sure there wasn't as much of a mass shooting problem, but it's entirely a coincidence that there's a lot of video games here and things like that happen. If you want to look at the, I guess, real roots of issues like that, think about the fact that there are tens of millions of guns in the United States. We have the Second Amendment, which allows people the right to bear arms. And the fact that, like, probably the majority of American households have guns, and then you combine that with the fact that the United States treats mental illnesses kind of like jokes. Like, we're, I think, 34th in the world in mental health. And it's literally just a recipe for disaster. I mean, it really, I don't think, is such a nuanced situation that video games come down to being the root of the problem here. No, it has nothing to do with that. Video games have existed since, what, the 1960s, the 1970s, and guess what? The trend does not correlate, okay? Science has already proven this. The trend doesn't correlate. And let me go ahead and just insert this as well. If you think that your children are so, like, mentally fringed that them playing video games would lead to them killing fucking people, like, literally killing, I think that says a lot as, you know, a statement about your parenting and about your lack of care for their mental health, okay? If they're so on the edge, right, that, like, playing Call of Duty is gonna make them drop a fucking nuclear kill streak in the local mall, then I have bad news for you. The video games aren't the problem. Your kids are just fucked up in the head, and maybe they need to go see somebody, okay? Last time we went into a game store, it's been a long time, the kids in there acted like spoiled brats, yelling about not getting things, crying, stomping feet. That's the behavior you defend? It was pitiful. Our boys were going down this road as well until we intervened. They aren't even allowed to play video games at friends' homes either. If they pack an overnight bag and leave the house, they are fully aware that if they're discovered playing a video game that they will be grounded. So while you sit there and lie on your YouTube channel to these impressionable people watching, just realize that real parents are making real decisions to handle their children. And while you lie on the internet and defend these video games and these people doing awful things to other people, let us do our jobs as parents, okay? Yeah, I've seen kids in Walmart do the same thing over Hasbro toys. Should we ban toys? And your boys going down that road as well until you intervened says a lot about you as a parent, right? The fact that that was even really a huge concern, that your kids were just acting fucking psychotic, that's not really a video game problem, once again. So, I guess you as a parent have made these executive decisions, and I respect those, right? If you don't want your kids playing video games, whatever, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to let them play. But when you're trying to accuse me now of defending mass shooters, people who do evil shit, is where I'm going to go ahead and draw the line, okay? If you can find any, like, clip out of these videos where, like, I'm defending people who do shit like that and saying that, like, you know, that they did good things or, like, that their actions are defendable, go ahead and send that to me. I would love to hear that. And the reason you're not going to be able to do that is because I've never said that. I've never done that. They're fucking horrible people, of course. But the whole point has always been, their things that they've done were not issues of video games. They're issues of morality. They're issues of mental health. They're issues of them being mentally ill people who should have never have had access to firearms. Which isn't a statement saying that guns should be banned either, of course, but they're mentally ill people who should have never have had guns, doing horrible shit because of the ease of access and their mental health issues, and our nation's inability to solve a crisis that virtually every other country on the planet has solved. If you live in America, you know that's a pretty commonplace thing, though. We just apparently can never fucking figure it out. So, the thing is also, in a lot of these videos, I've actually cited scientific studies. I've cited scientific research, evidence that defends what I'm saying. I'm not just talking out of my ass emotionally in an email to a YouTuber that I don't know, who's probably half my age. So maybe if you took the look in the mirror as a parent and realized that maybe you're the fucking issue and that your kids were the issue and not an inanimate object, I think maybe you and your kids would probably get along a lot better. I think that maybe you would come to some better decisions as a person, and I think maybe you wouldn't send such a ridiculous email. So with that being said, guys, I had to pop out Optimus Jordan on him here. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you guys for being channel members. If you are a channel member, your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, defending the worst people on Earth, and signing out. Are you also a sad, fucking pathetic loser? Join the club. In fact, join the 1 Million Club. That merch line just got fully restocked. Valentine's Day is hard for a lot of us, especially Redditors. Or maybe you're dating a Redditor on Valentine's Day. Who honestly cares? If you're alone, a horse or shirt might help. And if your husband is a Redditor, get him an Optimus hat. He'll upvote the hell out of you. Valentine's Day sale on all Optimus merch through Shoptimus is active through the 15th. Go get yours now. Link in the description. Go get it.